Pronounced, defined, used in lexical dispatch.
Imprecation, noun, imprecatory or imprecatory. An invocation of evil, curse, an offensive word. Opiate or opiate, noun, adjective, and verb. A drug that contains opium or an opium derivative. Anything tending to calm, soothe, or deaden. Containing opium, narcotic. To subject to an opiate, to dull or deaden. The angry customer hurled an imprecation at the salesperson before storming out of the store. The curse was nothing more than a series of unintelligible imprecations muttered in a language no one understood. The yelling and bundling went on, a sea of imprecation and hate. The hands became fists and feet. With a muttered imprecation, he snatched out his hand and backed away. He muttered another imprecation and cranked down the window, tossing out his cigarette butt. His mouth pursed in disgust. He glanced down and muttered one more imprecation before marching off towards 6th Avenue. Think of the most specious imprecation, meant to evoke the most abject sullying of the mind in the filth of the body. When he visited the site 2 years later, he pronounced his own imprecation. Vengeance is mine, and I have taken a little. The old gypsy woman shook her fist and muttered an imprecation under her breath as the carriage drove away. His sudden outburst of imprecations shocked the entire room. The priest warned the congregation that the imprecations and curses would not be tolerated during the church service. The imprecatory language used in the letter was so strong that it left the recipient feeling unsettled and disturbed. Karl Marx famously referred to religion as the opiate of the masses. The statewide average mortality rate from all opiate poisoning deaths was 7.04 deaths per 100,000, with a standard deviation of 4.24 deaths. Sinclair theorized that if you could stop the endorphins from reaching their target, the brain's opiate receptors, you could gradually weaken the synapses, and the cravings would subside. Grains, particularly the gluten-containing grains, contain molecules that fit into the opiate receptors in our brain. Thus, we examine how the individual and community-level factors that are correlated with methamphetamine use also predict marijuana, cocaine, and opiate use. Penicillin is a synthetic opiate. It's like fentanyl. We manufacture it as an anesthesia, but its mood-elevating properties have made it an extremely popular street drug. We wouldn't have any opiate abuse, and we wouldn't have any kleptomania. What are you doing up so early? 2 teenage girls. Opiate overdose. One DOA, the other in full arrest. The doctor decided to opiate the patient before performing the surgery. The hospital policy is to only opiate patients when necessary, due to the risk of addiction. The doctor prescribed an opiate sleep aid for the patient's insomnia. The nurse opiated the patient to help them sleep through the night.